I am excited to introduce our very next speaker, which is Cheryl Whitelaw. Cheryl is a Move More Without Regrets teacher and CEO of Peace and Power Movement Services. She supports her clients to learn through their movement through somatic coaching, mindful movement classes, and hands-on work to support functional movement. Her clients desire to live with vitality, to grow as they age, and often are recovering from life-changing injuries, trauma, or health conditions like MS or fibromyalgia. Her special talent is supporting people to find what is possible for them as they move into greater wellness and wholeness. So I will pass it right over to you, Cheryl. Thank you.
Thanks, Becca. So I have the deep pleasure today to bring you a wellness practice moment. And, you heard my introduction. I like to think about, I focus on helping you with your verbs, on the verbs that make what you're doing in your life better. So that could be running, walking. I'm working with a client right now on interacting in a more well and whole way, seeing or performing. And I know, as business owners, we're all chasing our dreams. And so I wanted to work with you today about the function of looking, because there can be ways that we fall into looking that make it more challenging when we step into the thing we're doing today, into problems, into issues. And so think just about 3 verbs that you do in your business, and ones that you do well, but also ones you might want to improve in some sort of way. And this wellness practice, we talk a lot in business about mindset, but I kind of live and play in this place of somatic intelligence. So I like to think about a shift in our whole self set. Rather than minds included to the party, but there's a wholeness that we can tap into. And this is a tiny taste of positive neuroplasticity, so that we can use movement, looking in this case, to help you leverage greater curiosity, greater choice, and I think greater courage in the challenges you step into with your business. And so in my world, I'm all about contrast. So there's 2 ways of looking I want us to play with today. So one is, if you think about a problem that you're working with right now, how do you look at that? We tend to focus in, we tend to sort of fixate our eyes literally into the screen. I decided we're in an online conference here, so let's work with the medium we're in. We fix and we look at the screen. It's one way of looking. We also can have a more open way of regarding, of looking, so that we're receiving information. And so just as you're sitting here now, looking at the screen, notice what you can see. Is your attention fully absorbed into the screen at a specific point? Can you see the whole of your screen? Can you see the space around your screen? Just notice what you can see, and notice your posture of looking. And so a really great place to check is, where is your chin in regards to your collarbones? Is it ahead of it? Is it over it? Is it behind it? We tend to look, especially on the screen. And so just notice your own personal relationship. Don't need to fix your posture, just notice your posture of looking. And then do look at something specific, probably on screen, but if you're needing a rest from the screen, look at something in your room and notice what happens to your breathing when you focus. Do you lean forward or back to look at something? And then as you keep looking at something specific, bring your hands forward and then bring them out to the side. You might want to wiggle your fingers until you can no longer see them. So we're tapping into both our ability to look at something specific and then to look out with a wider vision and just play a little bit Like, when do your fingers disappear? And do they disappear on one side sooner than on the other? So just notice how big your actual field of vision is. And again, just play with where that is. So, you know, myself, I have more vision on my right side. My left hand vanishes easily 6 inches sooner than my right one does. Okay, that's what it is today. And just notice your internal emotional tone. Are you questioning, are you doing it right? Are you looking with vigilance? Like, I got to see my fingers. Like, just notice that all of those things, that whole somatic intelligence, can shift something as simple as looking. And so let's play a little bit with whatever the specific spot you chose to look at it. Notice again what you're receiving in your whole visual field as you look at that specific spot. And just notice if the spot was a problem you had to solve, what happens to what you can receive? Does that shift at all? And then, keeping your eyes on the spot, turn your head a little to the right and a little to the left. So you're still looking at the same spot, but your head's moving around your eyes. We don't do that very often. So just notice how that is for you to keep your attention on the spot, and how free are you to move your head as you look. And then I'm going to ask you, close your eyes, but keep looking at the spot. We assume that looking is about what we see, but it's actually a physical movement. The muscles in our eyes organized to look. And so try this experiment again. So keep looking at your spot, eyes closed, and turn your head a little to the right and the left as you focus in on that spot. And notice what you sense about your field of vision. And you might want to go twice as slow with your eyes closed as you did with your eyes open, so that you can notice how this looking feels for you. And then having, next time your face is face forward, to simply look and open your gaze a little. So your eyes are closed. I'm asking kind of a nonsensical thing right here, but that you allow your eyes to soften and open, and then open your eyes with that soft focus. And notice what you're receiving as you look. And continue to just notice your emotional tone. This may be interesting. This may be like, I'm so ready for the break. Get me there. Just notice what you notice. And then taking your right hand, point at the spot that you chose. So I'm pointing up to a little corner of the screen. And then let your hand wander somewhere out to the right, somewhere in front of your right shoulder. So you can still see it, but that you don't have to lose track of it. And so let your eyes wander from the spot that you're looking at to the spot that you're pointing at. So we're sort of landmarking 2 spots in your visual field. And move your eyes slowly enough that you notice how your eyes magnetize to each point. One of them, you have your hand supporting you, and the other is just your intention, the spot you chose to look at. And so what do you notice in your field of vision as you move your eyes from one spot to the other? And then, feel free to let your right hand down in your lap, but keep a hold of your sense of that spot to the right and the spot in front of you. And can I ask you to close your eyes and keep in your attention the spot that was in front of you? Can you extend your awareness to the spot that was to the right without moving your eyes there? Or do you find that when you think of that right spot, your eyes automatically turn to the right. And so just notice what's happening within you in trying to locate this spot. We're not pointing at it, we're not looking at it. But what have you done that's already helped you magnetize to this spot and the other spot? And so keeping your eyes closed, continue to bring your attention back to the spot that's in front of you, whether it's on your screen or some other point. And try this again, this sense of opening your peripheral vision to the spot to your right. How do you open this in yourself? And so before you open your eyes, so keeping them closed, can you listen to the instructions? Open your eyes with a question. How do I receive what I see in my visual field? How does something come into focus? So open your eyes and notice, do you immediately jump to fix your eyes on a spot? Or do you take in all of what you can receive? And what might it be like to bring this way of seeing into your next problem or your next challenge? This taking in both a focus and what's available to you to receive all around you. And so just bringing back a little checklist, our waggling fingers and bringing them out, we only worked on the right side. So notice when your hands disappear from view, it might be skewed. We only worked with your right side. So that may be more present. Is it in the same spot as it was in the beginning? And maybe nothing's changed. This was a tiny taste, and you're all unique individuals with your own history of looking. And just notice how fluidly can you move between focusing on a spot and opening your awareness, opening your looking to look at everything all at once. And just notice what you prefer. Because it's not about one right way of looking. There's infinite spots to look at. It's about a certain fluency, about a certain openness, about allowing this kind of receptive way of looking to also be part of your focus for your business, for the next meal you make, for the next conversation. And so this is just a little taste of practical and positive neuroplasticity at work, so that movement can help you change little things in your brain and your nervous system so that your verbs can become the way that you want to live, because they're the place that we actually create ourselves moment by moment. Thanks very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. That was incredible. We are going to post in the chat because I do believe you have offered an online movement for people to connect with. So we're going to put that in the chat. I don't know about you guys, but my eyes want to go exactly where my brain is. That was a really interesting perspective about, I appreciate you bringing us to that awareness of looking, if that makes sense. I've never thought about what my eyes do when I'm looking. So thank you so much, Cheryl. It was beautiful.